Ancient Rome, a pinnacle of civilization built on the backs of mass enslavement. They gave us philosophy, architecture and law, and slavery so vast, so normalised, it became invisible in the everyday life. At its peak, 1 in 3 people in the Roman Empire was a slave. Slavery in Rome was not based on race. It was based on conquest. If Rome defeated your people, you weren't colonised, you were commodified. Men and women from Gaul, Carthage, Egypt, Judea, and even Britain were rounded up and sold like cattle. Entire populations were enslaved in a single campaign. Cities were emptied, villages burned, and survivors sold off in the thousands. Slaves were everywhere, in fields, mines, kitchens, temples, and even government offices. Some were chained in underground mines and never saw daylight again. Others were intellectuals like tutors, doctors, or accountants, forced to serve the Roman people. But don't let that fool you. They were all property, and their masters could torture, rape, or kill them with no consequences. And if one slave killed their master, even by accident, every slave in that household could be put to death. There are recorded cases where hundreds of slaves were crucified in order to just prove a point. Rome's control was built on fear. Violence wasn't a flaw, it was part of the system. But people resisted, and the most famous being Spartacus, a Thracian gladiator who led a slave uprising so powerful it shook the Republic to its core. Tens of thousands joined him, defeating Roman legions again and again. Rome eventually crushed the revolt, and to send a message, they crucified 6,000 captured slaves along the Appian Way. Their bodies were left hanging for miles. Rome's economy depended on slavery. Wealth wasn't measured in gold alone, but in how many people you owned. And here's the kicker, even Rome's great philosophers, like Cicero and Marcus Aurelius, were all slave owners. While writing about virtue and reason, their worlds shaped the modern West, but they spoke from palaces built on chains. When Rome stopped expanding and capturing more slaves, its economy began to falter. The empire couldn't function without this exploitation, and it collapsed under the weight of its own inhumanity. Slavery wasn't a side effect of Rome's greatness. It was its foundation. And its mindset that some people exist to serve and others don't didn't end with that empire. It's echoed through history. Every system built on inequality, in every empire that's built on stolen labour.